James. I'm the CEO/founder of Esports Scotland. Well, as the CEO of Esports Scotland, it's my job to look to the future and the direction of the company. On day to day, I talk to the teams to make sure that current projects we've got are on time, talk to the team managers that we've got heads of content, we've got tournament managers, we've got our planning guys, we've got marketing, we've got other business development guys we work with. So, I think it's very key for me to keep on top of all these things that we're doing. And yeah, once again, looking to the future all the time. Travelling with work, one of the best places we were going to go to was a place called Gaming, and that's in Austria, and we're going to do some gaming with Lenovo. But just as that was about to kick off, we were all ready to pack. Austria had shut its borders with Italy and COVID hit, so that got cancelled. One of the things, the second best place we've been to, we went down to London. We've done some work with Lenovo once again at BET 2020, so London was really cool to go to. We've done some esports events down there. And then last year, going to Birmingham and having the finals of the Commonwealth Esports Championships in Birmingham. That was really cool. That was a really cool place to go. I think the big thing that we're seeing in schools is the perception changing with esports. A lot of people believe, and I believe too, that esports is great for kind of STEM subjects. And I think, the more teachers see the value in esports and they don't just think it's a kid sitting playing games, the better. So yeah, I think more and more people are realising there's a lot of extra values in esports rather than just kids sitting playing games. So at the moment, I would say there's not really that many one place to go to get involved. A lot of this is by people taking their own initiative to start a team themselves, but we're making big strides to sort that out. We're doing a lot of work the past 18 months in education, working with primary schools, working with high schools, universities, colleges, and there's definitely a lot of qualifications that are coming out now, right up to kind of from primary school to degree level. So I think there's a lot of good opportunity in the future to help people make clubs, but we're working on some stuff behind the scenes to make it even more accessible for everybody. We're talking about a kind of gaming soundtrack. I think I used to always, I think there was a Kasabian track that used to be on one of the early FIFA games. I don't know when to sing it, but it was definitely a song that you would always think of when it was Kasabian and one of the FIFA tracks. I think it was one of the early. I think it's actually how they made it quite big, to be honest with you. I don't think they were actually known at the time. And then I think it was on FIFA 96, 97 or something like that. But yeah. I think the new game is, well, it's not new, it's probably about a year and a half, 2 years old now, would be Valorant. Riot are really pushing that hard, and I think it's going to be coming to console as well, so that's just going to open its audience even more. But that's a fun game, and it's got a lot of tactics, a lot of strategy involved in it, and I think it's here to stay. I've never made a game myself. I've got some opportunities now through some Scottish games developers to actually come up and get some visits to their studio, and I've told them I'd love to get involved in some of the brainstorming that goes on. I'm quite fortunate to have spoke to people now at Ubisoft, Riot, Epic before, the people that actually work there, and just through talking to them I've told them what I'd like to see in their games coming up. But I've never had the opportunity to make a game, but I certainly would.
Okay everybody, now that we have heard from the fantastic James Hood, we're now going to head on and create our very own multiplayer esports game. Today's one is a nice simple one for everybody to get started, so do not worry if you're an absolute beginner to creating your own games. We're going to be using block coding on Microsoft MakeCode Arcade to create our very own horse racer game. It's really simple. All you're going to do is you're going to whack a button as fast as you can to try to get to the end. Once you've completed that, feel free to change up the sprites, feel free to change up the course, because you can just copy that code over and use it on absolutely any game that you want to create. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump in and create our very own multiplayer game. Okay, so here we are on Microsoft's MakeCode Arcade. Now, if you've never been on this website, it's really simple and easy to use. Up at the top, you're going to notice all the previous creations that you've been working on. On the top right, you're going to notice if you're signed in or not. You do not need to sign in. Don't worry about signing in. You don't need to sign in. Only if you want to save your games. As we scroll down, you're going to notice loads and loads of different games for you to create. There's some pathways like Save the Forest, Whack the Mole, and there's some individual games as well, like the multiplayer horse race, which is the one that we're going to be creating today. Okay, so you'll notice there's loads of games. I can even click on the arrows on the right hand side, so there's hundreds of games, thousands potentially, of things that you can use. If you have any hardware like Meowbits or the Retro Arcade systems or Adafruit, I think it's Adafruit, then you can actually export your creations and save them directly to these. But today we're going to head all the way back up to the top, and we are going to come down very slowly down to multiplayer tutorials, and it's the multiplayer horse race. If you don't have a device to play along with us, please do pause the video now, go and get a device. Doesn't matter if you're sharing, doesn't matter if you're creating one just for yourself. Just find a device and follow along with us. So, multiplayer horse race, let's go. Let's start the tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll show you how to create your very own horse race game. So you'll see it's nice and simple, really simple. You just have to be the first horse that gets to the finish line, okay? So if you've never been on MakeCode Arcade's website, I'm just going to zoom out a little bit for you so you can see everything that's on here. So on the left hand side, these are our questions or our tips. These are the instructions for you, and it's going to tell you everything you need to know. On the right of that, you're going to notice that we've got Immersive Reader. So if you ever need help with reading the questions, you can get everything read out to you by clicking play, or in the top right hand corner, go into reading preferences, and then you can translate your whole question, your whole instruction into another language. Okay, so Immersive Reader is great for helping you with any literacy help. You then underneath have a kind of help GIF to show you exactly what you need to do, and if it's not there, sometimes you'll notice a little light bulb. So if you do need that help, then you can click on the light bulb and that will give you everything that you need, okay? What else have we got? Making our way around the top right hand corner, you can share it, you can log in. On the bottom right hand corner, I wonder if I zoom in from here, will that work? Yes, it'll make it a wee bit bigger for you. So this is your console essentially. So it kind of looks a wee bit like a Game Boy or a Meowbit. And so any changes you make will be reflected in the game here, and you can make it full screen by clicking on the full screen button, and then you can play along in full screen mode. So you don't need to have the hardware, you can play along directly from here. Okay, zoom in and out on the code, and lastly you've got the ability to download your code, so that's where you would save it to your device. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom out a little bit, and yeah, let's get started. So the workspace has been preloaded up, so this is the workspace here in the middle. Okay, so this is the workspace. It's been preloaded up with a function that will help set up your horses. It also has an array of horse information to pull from. So this one here, function set up for players. So they've already put all that information in for us, but they've hidden it because it is a little bit above beginner. So don't worry. So if you want to see it, you can click on the drop down and you can have that in here, but they've done all the work for us, so we don't need to worry about that. Okay, so let's hit next. Let's get ready to start coding. So go to the scene category. Now you notice that if I click there, it shows us where it is, and it's also the same color as scene, so they're both great. In the toolbox, this is the toolbox here, and grab set background image, there we go, and snap it to the end of on start. So if you've never seen block coding before, you've got jigsaw puzzle pieces, so the code that goes on the inside has the puzzle piece insides, and if it's on the outside, it's just the flat tops. Okay, so you can set the puzzle pieces directly into there. Okay, click on the empty grey square and switch to the My Assets library and choose the background called BG. So we're going to click on this square here, the grey square, and head up to My Assets up at the top, and from there you're going to click on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th button in there, and this is going to be our kind of background. You can add to your background, so you could change the colour if you like, but don't go outside of these boxes, keep it the same. Let's see, we can maybe add like a red top to this. So if I go all the way over. Oh. Let's just do that. Because the code is set up in a way that includes this background, so don't go outside of these boxes that are already coloured black, but you can draw on the black boxes. Okay, let's hit done. So now we have a background image and you're going to see it appear on our device. Okay, perfect, let's hit next. Click on the advanced category, so down here, so we've got advanced, there's advanced, and open the functions category and drag setup for players, so here, block to the end of on start. So it just goes in there, perfect. Change the number to reflect the number of players you want to play the game. So I want 2 players to play, so I'm going to hit 2, okay? If you want more than 2, really simple, you can click that number and it will add in more players for you. So there you see down in the bottom right, we're getting 3 horses, and lastly you can get 4 different horses as well to run in your game. Okay, so I'm just going to go for 2 today, just to keep it nice and simple. Look at the project window and you see what your code has done. We've just done that, so you'll notice that now we have the horses. They can't do anything yet, okay? So we can't do anything, we've just put the code in there. And we do have space for these other horses as well. Open the multiplayer category and drag the A button. Okay, so multiplayer is here. Okay, and drag the on A button pressed, so that's here, into an empty space on the work. There we go. Let's put it there because I think the next one's going to be quite big. So now when a player presses A, their horse will move 1.5 pixels to the right. So when I click A, there it goes. So when I click A with my mouse, the horse starts to move, okay? Try playing the game in the window. Great, we have done. So we just gotta keep pressing, press, okay? You can also use the space bar if you have a keyboard. Add a finish line. So open the sprites category and drag the set finish to sprite of kind finish. Okay, so we need to go to sprites and it's set finish, it's the red one here, to the end of on start. So it goes in there. Let's just adjust our blocks so they're nice and easy to read. Okay, so now we need to click on this grey box for sprite and we need to go to my assets and we need to go for the finish line, which is this last one here. Okay, so that's the second one there, which is the finish line. So it's the yellow and red stick going up and down the way. Okay, so that is our finish line. Hit next, open sprites, excuse me, and drag set finish position. Okay, I'm going to drag that to the end of on start. Okay, fantastic. So now you'll notice that the finish line heads over to the finish at the end. Great. Play your game. Okay, so now we can go back into full screen mode and we can start to play the game. Now, if I press U, that's going to be the blue player, and if I press space, it's going to be the red player. So I can have a wee race between my horses. Okay, so we can see what happens if we get all the way to the end. Nothing. Now the reason for that is because we've not yet coded it in. So there we go. It tells us player to move by clicking on the U key. Okay. Let's hit. So open this. We need a winner. So open sprites. Up at the top, there's sprites, and drag on sprite count. So the bottom block here. All of this. We need all of this into an empty space in the workspace. Okay. So now when you get to the end, it will say player wins. So if I go all the way to the end here, I'm going to click all the way there. I'll do it faster, pressing both. There we go, player 1 wins. New high score. Or sorry, new best score. Perfect, okay. You can change it, so it says wins. You can change wins to a different term if you like. You can change the confetti if you like as well to smiles, hearts, bubbles. Let's go for hearts. Will it change automatically? I think we have to start again. Yeah, you can change the width button there, so you can change it to anything you like. Starfield, let's go for stars. Okay, and then hit next. And lastly, this is our time to play. So it's telling us to play. We've just done it. So we don't have to do that. Let's add a screen that keeps the game from starting until everyone is ready. So we can also add a label and tone to let everybody know when it's time to play. So open the game category, there's game, and we're going to go to finishing touches and we're going to drag all of this in under on start. Okay, so now on start looks absolutely huge. There's our on start. There's our A button pressed, function set up, and on sprite of kind. Okay, so on start is massive now. We've dragged finishing touches in from game. It's just this huge big one here, and put it into the bottom of on start. So the green one, hit next, and now it's time to play your game. So you can play against someone else on the keyboard using the space bar for player 1 and U key for player 2. So let's go for it. You ready? Press A to start. So that means go and go. Let's see who's going to win. Red horse or blue horse? Player 1 or player 2? It's quite a distance actually. Player 2 wins. There we go. Score of 24. Best 15. I think that's the time. And we had our stars falling there as well. You can change the sound that you can start on as well. So let's go for wah 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 wah. I like that. That sounds good. Okay. So now when it's time to start, wah wah wah. Or let's go for pew pew. Okay. What other opening sounds do we have? Spooky. Let's try that one. Beam up. Last one. That's the one. That one says we're ready to get started. So at the bottom of on start, you can change the opening sound by clicking play sound and choosing one from there. Okay. Yes, then we're going to hit next on the left hand side, and that's us completed our very own horse game. Now what's great about this one is you can actually play with other people across the classroom. So we're going to put our name in here so that we all know whose is whose. And then we're going to go to, you can share your project so people can play on their own or host a multiplayer game. Now for this one you do need to be signed in. So if you don't want to sign in, don't worry about hosting a multiplayer game across different devices. You can just do it locally on your same device. And so if you just want to do it locally, hit share project, copy the code, copy the URL, stick it in Teams, stick it in your OneNote that you use, and then from there, if I paste that in, we can play the game. Okay, so one person is U, one person is space on the keyboard. Or you can, if I go to host multiplayer game on the left, I can host a multiplayer game, share and host. For this to work, the person needs to scan the QR code and then type in that code that's on the screen there. So for me it's 5B343B. Hit enter, and now you'll notice that they've got the same page as you. So when I click, I wonder if that will focus in there. Come on, focus. There we go. So when I click on any of these smiley faces here, let's do it from the screen. They appear. Okay, so we can have a little kind of fun before we start. Then we hit start game. Now you'll notice that the player 2 is on the phone, player 1 is on the screen. So press A button to start. Now player, the one with the blue on the phone has to press A on the phone, and you've got to do it through the computer keyboard here. So let's see who can win. This is not easy. Well done, player 2 won. Okay, so you see the exact same on no matter what device you are using. Yeah, so that is us. That is how you can create your multiplayer game and see who can win. Maybe you could host a little tournament in your class. We did mention one thing, and that is that you can change the sprites as well if you want. So to do that, I'm just going to go back to edit game, unless it's in here. Yeah, it's in here. I'm just going to go back to edit game, so I'm going to edit my game, and you can change these characters. Okay, so maybe you're wanting to do ducks instead, maybe you're wanting to do different food. So there's the first one. Instead of horses we could have pizza versus strawberry. Okay, and then when we hit go, you'll notice that we've got pizza versus strawberry. Okay, so there's pizzas out ahead. So I'm going to give you 10 minutes now to make changes to your game, change your sounds, change the kind of finishing kind of confetti that comes down, change the animal or the the sprite, the character that you're playing with. Have a little shot, compete against other people in your class, and then I'm going to see you back here in about 10 minutes. Okay, so I'll see you in 10 minutes. Well done on creating such fantastic games. Hopefully you've enjoyed the multiplayer element linked into today's session. I know that I have. It's been great fun to create our very own horse racing game, and I hope that you've won. Good luck. Thank you so much to everybody for joining us today. My name's Niall, I'm part of the team here at TA Scotland. If you do have any questions, you can find us on Twitter at TA Scotland. You can also leave comments on this YouTube video, and you can find me, myself, at Niall Ridgway on Twitter. So we would love to see your creations, we would love to play your games. Please do share us links. If you're a teacher, share us the links. And we would love to play the games that your students have been creating. Join us again tomorrow for another fantastic session. We'll begin again with an interview with James from Esports Scotland to discover what's new, what's happening in kind of the Esports Scotland world, and then we'll be jumping into another session. So thank you again for joining us, everybody. I hope that you have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great time. Cheers. Bye.